Good morning. I hope you guys doing well and welcome to today's edition of the London session opened. Today is April 8th, 2019, and my name is Alejandro Zambrano. You should be able to see my screen and also hear my voice. Want to welcome you all today. We have some familiar names here. We have Zahid, Vincenzo, and Marvin in the chat today. And I want to welcome you guys and thanks so much for always joining me in the morning. Starting a little bit late today. Sorry about that. I spent the weekend in Barcelona doing an event for ATFX, and that sort of led to more work as it usually does. That's why I'm starting a little bit later today than usual. Okay, let's take a look at the markets. There's some stuff going on, and it's definitely exciting. I have a decent position on in platinum, which I'll mention and share with you guys. And then we're going to talk a bit about all the other marks as well. So let's actually begin with the fun stuff. Let me explain to you a little bit of how I trade the markets and an opportunity which I think could potentially continue to develop in a good way. Now, so this is the price of platinum, and this is your daily chart. And platinum is something I trade on a normally. I trade it once in a while when there's some good opportunities. The last time I traded metals a lot was actually last summer. At that time, metals were trading sideways like this. So they were trading sideways here from December 2016 up until June 2018. You can see we had a false break here, but then we had actually, I will call it one. This, of course, would be a false break, and then probably second time around, you would have waited for this break here. So I don't remember if I traded actually platinum specifically, but I do remember copper looked pretty much the same, and silver not too much different either. And the idea here was just a big rectangle, and the difference between high and low gives you the target. Now this is obviously quite an extreme target in this case, so we did not go all the way down. But I do know in copper, which I did trade, we did go all the way down. And now we have something similar here, really, because see, following that decline, the market started to trade sideways like this, as you can see. So it hit a high here in November 2018, then hit a low here in December, same year, and then tried it within that range. So this was something I had to look out. I tried to find these sort of setups, and the difference here is about $98 or 12%, 12.7. And then I just put this on top like that. And I went long here on Thursday. So strong little breakout, and then we had a bit of a pullback, and now continue to go higher. And some really good, good momentum. When it's really good momentum, then usually we just hit the target here. So I'm finding this really interesting. If you're into scalping, you have a scalping hat and things like that as well, or not scalping hat, a scalping strategy, then you definitely want to keep an eye on this one because I do think it's going to continue to go upwards. I'm trading platinum here, as I was mentioning, and if you look at something like the euro dollar, it's not too much different, guys. It's just a different market. And obviously it's a bit more sluggish, so I wouldn't get too excited, but we can treat this as some sort of a rectangle here as well, with a break to 111.75, taking the market lower, and that's what I was hoping for with the non-farm payrolls, because the figures from non-farm payrolls last time, they were good, but we didn't have enough really to cause this market to trade substantially lower, or to cause it to break any points here. Now, typically, when the market is trading sideways like this, it could either, as long as you trade above this, we're stuck within a range, and the market could technically, swing upwards, go to maybe 114. So that could easily happen. And a good sign that that's gonna happen is, for example, if you look at something like the 1 hour. In the 1 hour, you have even a small head and shoulders with a head, left, right shoulder, and a break to the upside here, giving you something like a target here of 72 pip, which could lift the price up to 113.28. We could also, that this is a head and shoulders, but we could easily just interpret this like some sort of a rectangle, and Again, the target of a rectangle and the target of a head and shoulders in this situation will be the same, even though obviously it's not a proper rectangle because you only have one low point. So that's what I can say about the euro. Hopefully, I prefer the break to the downside because that's an easier trade and should hopefully be a quick trade as well. The target here, this is clearly not like an exact rectangle, but I'm sort of taking parts of what it is here. So the difference here, I'm sort of seeing this as some sort of rectangle. And then I'm just sort of assuming that we already had the break here. That's just to get an idea really where we can go, how low we can go. As for the GBP versus the USD, it's trading upwards without a doubt. Has that little bullish momentum for the year, but in the short term, since the market hit a high here on March 13th, the market is not actually going upwards, right? Now we said people probably going to buy here and lift the price. It did, and I said people probably going to buy here, the price and lifted. And I said we might go up to about 32, 33, and we only went up to these levels, and then the market foiled and folded and tried to trade lower here. For now, the trend is bullish about 129.52, but there's not a lot of activity here. As for the dollar yen, it's also trading sideways. There's not a lot of activity. It's getting squeezed in the short term and in the big picture. So if you're a pure forex trader, you don't have too much to work with right now. In fact, euro dollar is a bit boring, or it is boring. GBP USD, dollar yen, AUD, and New Zealand dollar. Even dollar CAD could be perceived as a bit boring. However, the non-farm payrolls from Canada were a bit soft, and we did have a bounce last week. And I think if we revisit the lows from last week, people are going to buy. I also think if we take out some of these highs, I think monthly high or so, we can also trade higher. As for gold prices, again, the NFPs were not enough. I don't envy the situation of macroeconomic analysts. So there's not a lot of things going for them. Firstly, we didn't have that massive crash in the economy. Number two, traditionally, when you have good NFPs and something like this market should be trending lower, which it obviously is not. That is why I combine my macro with my technicals, and clearly not going lower now. So we're going probably a bit upwards. I'm not sure, maybe 1,320, but I think this is coiling now and it's going into more and more sandwich trading, and then maybe bullish bearish. As for crude oil, I had a very good Friday, and the market moved upwards and touched the lower end here, and it's definitely a bit overshort in short term. You might remember I said probably up here is what you want to be selling, but and I still stand by that. If you bought here and here, then this is a good spot to book profits, and this is still a bad spot to go long, unless again you have some scalping strategy or something that you know exactly what you're doing. Because here we're about 8%. Yes, that's right, 8% from the low, and we're literally well, we are at a target. There is the head and shoulders target, which is up here, which is also 8% away. So even if you're trading on this head and shoulders pattern, which we identified here in February last year or this year, you still want to be buying up here because you're looking to risk potentially 8% and you're looking to make 8%. So that risk reward ratio is just not there. It doesn't mean though that if you're long and you're trading this head and shoulders that you should be, closing that out if you don't want to. If you want to just stick with that target, you can stick with that. I would personally lighten up a bit on the position, at least 50% or so, not 100, and then look for the pullback and then lift it upwards again. Finally, S&P 500 is going upwards as well, and it's the same situation here. It's not extremely overbought, but the risk-reward ratios are not really that great. We're so close to the 2018 high, and the idea was to buy down here, right? Since then, the market has moved up with about 3.5%. And from a risk-reward ratio perspective, from the actual low, we're 3.6% away, and from the actual high, which is 1.8% away. So again, risk-reward ratio is not really favoring long positions. Now, I don't know if you notice, but I have adjusted some of the levels, and my new trend finding level is down here. I'm thinking that this has switched into slow grinding, slow moving trend really. We could easily have one of those strong declines. Uh, but I'm thinking maybe if we just go down to 2,860, I think people are going to buy. Alternatively, I think this is going to start to get involved maybe at 2,840. So you just need to keep an eye on the market, how it reacts when it comes down here. But I think overall, definitely bullish. Don't want to be a short seller here. Um, and just look for this to bounce on a corrective move. Here you go. This is the German DAX, and had a very, very strong move here. It's definitely a bit difficult to trade, but still have the head and shoulders, massive head, left, right shoulder. Had this was the bullish break a candle, so I'm gonna be bullish as long as it's above that. This specific level is actually 11,637, and I think we have a bit of a pullback, and then most likely upwards. Okay, guys, if you have any questions, then please let me know. Okay, so no questions. I think we're gonna wrap things up. If you have any questions to me, do let me know. We are going to be back tomorrow, same time here. And if you have any questions about ATFX, check out our homepage. Also check out analysis, technical analysis. I do publish some content there. Did not publish anything on Friday, of course, because I was on my way to Spain. But I'm now back in London and will be start to publish content there throughout the week. Okay, thanks so much for watching and have a brilliant day. Thank you.